I don't know what I'll choose the title to be, but I'm not quite sure I'm going to stick to the premise I had before I started recording this. But hello, this is my attempt at a podcast or something similar. I don't think I'm anything special, but I think the concept of me just talking and someone listening is interesting. I don't necessarily have any career, or I'm not an artist, and I don't have anything that's special to talk about necessarily, I guess, aside from my experiences. But I do know how to edit, and I've made a little bit of music before, so I think depending on how long this goes, I might be able to chop this into something. But so this is it. I wrote a script, very, very lousy script, but a script nonetheless. Something that I can follow along with sometimes when I do these, and it'll give it a little bit more narrative. Stay on the tracks a little bit better. But I'm recording this from a Samsung Galaxy, and it's pretty interesting. And I'm at a park with a considerable amount of people. It's not as busy as it usually is, but it's nice. It's a little it's cloudy, but it's nice. I left my hometown, not for the first time, but again, about a week ago. And I didn't have a plan, and I've been sleeping in my car, and but that changed. I moved in with my grandma for the time being because she said I could stay with her for 2 months, and I'm happy to accept because, to be honest, living in a car is not worth it, even if it's the little bit of pride I have. If I can just fast forward this life, quality of life, in the next 2 months, we might as well. But I've slept at a church, I've slept at a park, I slept in a parking lot at a grocery outlet. That was interesting. Hopefully I never have to do that again. I heard a lot in one night. Nobody bothered me though. I've had people walk by. I've had a group of people walk by. But I guess, let's see, made a profitable trade. I don't remember what that was. Well, I mean, I guess I do. I guess I made exchanges for rides, for money. A little bit of weed. I made new friends. Whether that was short-lived or that is going to be an ongoing thing, I'm not quite sure. I've made a lot of music, and I enjoyed doing that. I like making content and putting it out there. It was hard for me to get into the idea of this because I don't really have a good idea of what it'll be ultimately. But it sounded fun. And so we have someone pulling up next to us. And in a gray Jeep. And so it could be awkward if they look at me and see, oh, this guy's talking to himself. But I guess that's a big reason why I will edit the dead air out. Like right now, I think I'm going to crack this and stop talking momentarily. Here we go. Oh, here he goes. It was, in fact, a man. A big one. He was no 6'3" man, although I do have a lot of shit behind my seat, because when I was living in it, I packed a lot of food behind my seat, so it was hidden. So when I move my seat back, it crushes some of the cans and the boxes and the bags. But I don't think anything has been punctured, so I don't think anything's spilling, thank God. The sun's coming out. But back to it. This is why the script is good. Lousy script, loose script, but script nonetheless. You need police in your circle for I'm sorry. I'm not drunk. I'm not, and I smoked a little weed, so I'm a little stoned. And I am literate, and I don't think I'm that dyslexic, so I apologize. But you need people in your circle for opportunity. What I meant by that, and I'm sorry if you heard that was gross. I know, I scratched my ear. I didn't use Q-tips today, so they might be a little dirty. I should have dealt with that. But anyways, what that means is, if you're gonna live in your car or on the street, it's like a big deal to have a job, obviously, and you need to make money. You don't want to be the person that's going to, trash cans and picking up cans and recyclables to make money. It's in your best interest to have people around you can trade with to make some level of value for yourself, so you can eat, you can stay somewhere, you can shower, or whatever. You need to be resourceful, though, and this might be for a shower or food or drugs, is what I wrote. Went off the dome right there. Look at that. But at the time I was writing this little script at a library in town, I decided I'd write what I was listening to. And what that is MVP by Big L. That's what I was listening to when I was writing this. And I, at the library that day, it was like my 4th or 5th day I was doing this, living in my car. And I wrote a financial plan. I don't know. I suppose a lot of people maybe go homeless because they're not good at basic financial literacy, or they don't understand it, or they're just not good at basic math. And that's unfortunate. And I think if anyone's out there listening to this, I think if you don't have any money and things are going bad, that's not good. You need to fix that, but you also need to maybe sit down, if you can, and write out a plan. And a plan written out is nice because you can look at it and not just think about it. Thinking about it is one thing, and it's nice to think these things through, but to put it down and put it into place it's another thing. And it becomes more concrete when you write something down. So as silly as it might sound, if you're out there, take the amount of money you have and put that number onto a piece of paper and find out. Budget, let's find out, what do you need to eat every day? What do you need to spend every day to use for gas? Or if you're homeless, what do you need to use every day to get a shower? Around here, you have to go 4 miles out of town just to get a shower, and it's an $18 shower. So clearly that's not feasible if you're homeless at all. So it's, in some situations, it's actually, it costs more to be homeless and poor than it is the contrast, I guess, having more than others, I guess. And in that position, you just don't have many options. I'm just riffing here, so I'm sorry if I sound like a dipshit. I'm gonna leave some dead air for a second because I gotta plug in my phone real quick. Got a napkin, McDonald's napkin right next to me. I was eating 2 McDoubles. Which brings me to my next thing. Fast food's extremely expensive, and so is going out. And if you're listening to this, you probably don't have the money to go out. So just do yourself a favor and make food at home. And if you don't have a home, go to the grocery outlet, go to the Dollar Tree, go to a bargain market. Last but not least, get rewards. The rewards app. Get the app, McDonald's app. You probably have a McDonald's by you. And so, now I'm back. I stopped talking because some car pulled up next to me, and I was talking to my phone like a fucking crazy person, so I listening to a podcast while trying to attempt a podcast. Just trying to get my sea legs here. That is a reference to the It's Always Sunny podcast, which is, I think, the first podcast I ever got into was Joe Rogan. Admittedly, the Joe Rogan Experience was my precursor. It was the one that made me fall in love with it. And Joe Rogan is great. But I think I'd say my favorite is It's Always Sunny podcast. Definitely real nerdy. Definitely have to be kind of a nerd and a geek to like it, but I fucking love it. They're some good guys, and they're very funny. They're very funny and they're smart. That's my locking system in my car. But I'm out driving. We're stationary at this park. With the windows up, by the way. Very warm. Getting warmer. Getting much warmer. Because the sun's coming out. And, the windows are up. That is it. That is a fact. This is happening, and I'm probably going to have to roll some weed up and get high soon, too. Crazy. I've made a lot of beats, and usually they're 2 to 4 minutes, and I always feel, oh, that's pretty good, right? But I don't even have any rap on it, or anybody else to rap on it, so it's a little empty, but they're always full pieces of music, in my opinion. Only 12 minutes, 13, 14 minutes into this, and I'm realizing now talking for an hour is a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. But I guess that's a great reason why this should probably be short to begin with, and then we'll lengthen it over time. The original plan was to call this like podcast in your car, and that changed, and here we are in my car. But then I was thinking, till the battery runs out. Like, I just record till the battery runs out. Well, if I recorded till the battery ran out, I'd be here till midnight. So I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm just, yeah. I should have gotten water, but I didn't. But at the library, I wrote a financial plan. I wrote the small script, and I said, sorry, this is all recent. So, I was apologizing to myself, as in, that's all I have. And I'm sorry for not writing more in the past, which, yeah, it's a lack of. But I wrote down here, bus rides, opportunities, free bus rides. The one from LeGrand to Baker City is $11, and the one from LeGrand to Pendleton is free. Write a lot of things down. I found out my tax rate roughly for what I got paid at the last job. That was pretty interesting. With my current calculations for all the money I have, I think that's, well, not, I don't think, but I know that's now dated because of how much I spend. Not that I spend a lot. I'm not a high roller, but I spend so little, but have so little. So of course, that's how that works. That's how money works. How numbers work. What is he saying? What are you talking about? Just going through the pages of this notebook I'd write down when I was sleeping in my car, and still use now that I'm not sleeping in a car. Keep myself busy aside from reading. I love reading. Reading's great. Reading's cheap. Reading's great because it's good, and when it's good, it's really great, and it keeps you there for a long time. So you don't have to worry about spending money. It doesn't burn up calories. You don't have to worry about eating. It doesn't make you dehydrated. So if you're homeless and you're poor or rich, or it's anybody's game, reading's great. Reading's great. Go get a cheap console, cheap, nothing more than $50, or go get a book and just commit to it. Go pick up it and read the rest of it for me. I got to page 850. Get back to me. What you think about that? If you're out there. bunch of music made and a bunch of beats made, I think I might even consider putting a song of mine at the end of it, because I think that'd be interesting. When I just stop talking, or have an outro, or I guess that will be my outro, is a beat I've made. It might be interesting, and but you're not here for the music, and I want you to know that. You're here to do what I do with podcast, I guess. That's the one-to-one, I guess, the only thing I can think of. It's nothing special. It's easy. I don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm not, I don't think I'm totally boring, though. So I think, you might just stick around and listen. If not, whatever. If you're bored, hopefully this meets your fancy. But, I am no educated man. I have no very strong opinions, and if you're looking for very highbrow analysis on the Middle East, you're not in the right place. You might catch an opinion from me every now and then. Nothing too controversial, though. We're gonna keep it clean at the dinner table. I'd like to, for the most part. But it is getting breezy. There's a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's a 4, there's a 5, there's a 6, there's a 7, there's an 8, there's a 9, there's a 10, there's an 11, and I think there's about 12 to 15 cars in this park. The other day there was about 30. Fucking 9. Like fucking 40, 45. Fucking 100 almost, it seems like. Some days it's big and some days it's popping, some days it's not. Today is not it's Sunday. And depending on when I upload this, I guess you'll know that. But I'm going to try to upload the day I record. And that I will make that the case every other time, aside from maybe this time. It's either this recording will get uploaded today, as of Sunday, May 19th, or Monday, May 20th. Not that there's someone out there that's like, I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, this is new. The first installment of whatever. Maybe that's it, whatever. Maybe that's it. This phone's really pretty, though, that I'm recording with. I, in fact, bought a second phone specifically to do this little pod with, or go on trips and record with. I used to have a lot of nice recording stuff when I did all the fancy music stuff, but I got rid of it, or I couldn't get some of it back from my buddy. So my old friend. So I'm doing this. This was the cheap alternate route. So here we are. Thank you for my budget priced pod experience. But we've been going for about 20 minutes probably now. 20. Probably gonna cut a couple minutes, so we'll probably have a good 20-minute video here. 30-minute. Let's see. If you've never watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, go do that. Guess I'm plugging people that I shouldn't even be plugging, but I just like them. Don't really give a shit. I guess it doesn't matter, huh? That's a big reason why I'm here. It's just because, I find them to be great. Love their show, love their origin, and, yeah. If you've never seen it, go check it out. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on FX. Still making new seasons. They've been around since 2005. 05. That's as old as the cars I'm in right now. Oh, there's a car driving by. Nope. I guess I'm crazy. I guess I gotta roll down these windows before I have a heat stroke. I guess maybe I'm hallucinating. Right now, maybe I'm in a hospital. That's a scary thought. If you can hear me. We're checking what the time is at, and we're at 21 minutes and 46 seconds. That's crazy. want to call it early, but stay tuned, I guess. We'll try our best next time, but that's kind of a taste. Bye-bye. So here I am, back with the second part of this first episode, and why I'm recording is, well, obviously it's not complete, and I need to speak at a better volume, so here I am. Earlier we recorded, and we had a very lousy script, and now we are back with a slightly better one. And am I going to use it? In fact, no, we have two that I'll probably use in the future, very, very near future, and it'll be fun. Look forward to it, but right now we aren't, because I think I have to clean this up a little bit. We're going to keep the first part, but I just did what I shouldn't have been doing the first part, and that's getting my face very close to the mic. And I realized now there was a lot of air going into the mic, and that's not cool. We don't want to do that, because I don't want to, I don't want to make it a bad experience. I want you to be able to hear me clearly. Drank a little bit, but here I am. It must be obnoxious to hear that. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I'm trying to avoid that. I need to put it somewhere where you can't hear it, but I'm not too quiet. So right here is probably perfect. I'm going to keep everything from the first part, but we're going to work off of what we have right now, and we're going to hopefully get it to at least a sum of 50 to 40 minutes. So this is going to be about 10-20 minutes. Yes, I'm a little intoxicated, but that's besides the point. I'm going to drink this beer, smoke a J, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But that will be at the end of this episode. Right now we're going to do a quick run through of my journal, which will touch up on the future episodes. And we just cracked a beer, yeah. But we're walking home. So anyway, we'll be smoking that weed at the end of the episode. Now, I'm putting my phone at a distance, and I know I don't have a professional phone mic. I don't have a professional, expensive mic. Like, I don't have my Yeti anymore. I'm intoxicated, so I'm sorry, I'm stupid. And I'm not using my AirPods for this, because I thought I'd use my phone entirely for the authenticity of this. And then over time, we'll just switch from, like, what we have right now. And then, we'll make that public. And of course, I know this is very choppy. I sound like an idiot. You could look at this. You could say, well, this guy's just a fucking idiot. Baboon talking into his fucking phone. And yeah, I get it, okay? I'm an idiot. I'm a little intoxicated. That's stupid. But probably won't be the case every time. And but here we go, I guess. We should get a mic, but we aren't. The first part was pretty rough, and you could hear a lot of air going into the mic, so that just wasn't fun, because it just sounds like shit. And I wouldn't want to listen to that. But I'm still gonna put it in there, because, well, can't hurt too much. But anyways, this is the second part to the first EP. And I might even put the second part as first and the first as second, and I'll just make a disclaimer that this horrendous train wreck happened. So, but either way, it's not too big of a deal. I have work at 4 tomorrow, and if you've been keeping up, I've been a little homeless. Came into a place of residency, and it's nice. I think, as I said prior, it was my grandma, and I'm very grateful. But it would have been dumb if I didn't take the opportunity to improve my quality of life, as I think I said, for at least the 2 months I'm there. Anyway, I wrote a lot today about how I could improve this podcast, and, well, the script that I wrote loosely, and I will clean up and tighten up a little bit more, is my iTunes. I have a lot of rap. I grew up very white, but I have a lot of rap, and that's because of my white friends, and I love rap music. I do. And it's not a good or a bad thing, but it's there. And so we'll touch up on that at some point, and I think that'd be interesting, giving my perspective, maybe a little bit. And if you hear any loud air go into the mic, this part, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get better as time goes. Second EP, promise it'll be a completely different game. This is the raw, for sure. The places I lived. Wow. Yeah. Again, I'm a little intoxicated. My writing's not great. I'm gonna do an EP on where I've lived, because I haven't lived a lot of places, but at the same time, I've done a little traveling. It's been very interesting. So, my hometown's Baker City, and that's not where I'm at right now. But as we move on, we have a catalog. I don't know if this is how you use the word, but we have a tips area and a guide for myself. That's not the script for the podcast. And this is, like I said, apart from the script. On this yellow page to the left is like a tab for the writing for the podcast. It's catalog process. So it's just steps and a general aesthetic of how I would go about this, whether you call this writing or you call this riffing. And I'd say whatever, but that's kind of just it. I kind of had to add that gap, and what I have my my AC is not going. I thought it was going, but it's not. See, I'm getting so close to the mic again. I gotta keep it at a distance. If I can keep it at a distance, things will be fine. It'll sound good. It'll sound bad if I get too enthusiastic and get close. I'm sure it'll be even worse to hear me now that it's so far away, but maybe I'm just a fool. Who knows? Here goes the first drink of my 1 pint 8 fluid ounce trash Rainier. Cheers. Oh my, we're gonna smoke a J. Put in the music. Let's see what time we're at. Seven minutes, I guess, is a surprising amount of time I've already spent talking. And yet another edit I'll have to make. Here we go. Through the world of dead air, and a whole lot of nothing to talk about. But that's because I do have to write this into existence now a little bit. I think my freestyle game will be just barely good enough. Or they call that improv, huh? Anyway, here I am. I have work for the first time in this town tomorrow. In the last 8 months. The last time I worked here, I worked at a Safeway. Interesting. Because they fired me. And that was bullshit. But who am I to say it's bullshit, I guess, because I wasn't the goddamn boss. What, folks? It's really warm in this fucking car. And there it is. Did you like that? It went straight into the mic. That sounded like shit, I bet. I'm sorry. Picked a terrible time to start this. Maybe not a bad, maybe not good. I don't know. Who knows? I'll be walking. Don't worry. No reason for, coming at me for any illegalities. I am walking home, and I know I'm a mess, but let's use that as advertisement to stay around. Let's be honest. Next time we're gonna have a pretty well narrated, not the word I wanted to use, the well written, track driven landscape for an episode. And there it is. That air again. I'm sorry. We're gonna find a way. Either use AirPods. We'll go around it. These AirPods, we're gonna have to use a video then, and we'll go from there. And then you can see my face. See how that goes. But folks,